Hey guys, so I know I look so crazy right now, and that's because I am experiencing a winter storm for the first time in my adult life. The power is out. It has been out. When I woke up at around 7:22 a.m. this morning, it was out. It probably was out before that. It's currently like 9 degrees outside and it is freezing in my apartment. So I had to layer my clothing. I got like a scarf under here, my beanie on, two shirts. I have leggings and then pants over the leggings. It's just a mess. And I'm actually going to show you what it looks like outside of my apartment. The lights are out there. It's almost like a zombie apocalypse or something, but let me show you. So of course I do want to conserve my battery, but I'm just going to show you a few of the tips. Like 2 days ago, I made a video on adult daily living skills, winter safety tips. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm going to do in light of this winter storm. But before I get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So as you can see, I got my candle going for the bathroom. Hopefully it'll provide a little bit of heat in here, and because I couldn't see anything this morning, so I do have my candle going with my lighter nearby. So you always want to make sure you have some candles. As you can see, I got some cover out. I have like a few big comforters, so I took that out so I can stay warm out here in the living room. Got my gloves that will be going on my hands pretty soon. And of course, I got my flashlight. It got me through Irma, and I know it'll get me through this. All right, so the power's out. That means I cannot warm up the food that I made last night. So I'm just going to, and it's lunchtime anyway, so I'm just going to make me a quick PB&J sandwich, which I talked about in my winter safety tips a few days ago. If you're not into PB&J, you can make a regular sandwich, but I'm going to start here. All right, guys, so I got my PB&J. It is, I don't even know what time it is. I have to look at my phone. It's a little after 12. And I'm just going to have some lunch right now and just conserve my battery power. I'll check back in with you in a few. It's like 4 o'clock p.m. and the power still has not came back on yet. The power went out like around, well, when I woke up at around 7:22, it was out. It probably was out a little bit before that. So I'm going to go ahead. It's still cold in my apartment, really cold. It's like, I think maybe 12 degrees outside now with the wind chill. And I'm not sure what the wind chill is. But I'm going to go ahead and put some pillowcases under my windowsill so that it kind of tries to insulate the heat in my, or whatever heat is left over from my body. In my apartment a little more. They've recommended not opening the blinds, but it is just not good for your mental health or for anything else to sit in a dark, cold apartment. So my blinds are open and it is sunny outside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place the pillowcases along my windowsill. So I am in my car, as you can tell, and I am charging up my phone right now because the sun is going to be going down in a few more hours, and I want to make sure my phone is charged since the power still has not came back on yet. So I'm just going to sit out here for a little while, get some heat, and charge my phone up. And in case you were wondering what it looked like, this is how it looks right outside my car. So this is me walking back inside of my building. As you can see, it was pitch black dark and all I had was my flashlight. So at this point, it was about dinner time, and of course the power was still out. So you can see me just making some tuna here. In my winter safety tips video that was posted last Saturday, I believe, you can hear me talking about, some canned foods that you should have on standby, just in case something like this were to happen. I just made a simple tuna wrap with some mayo, mustard, a few seasonings. I think I had like onion, garlic, and seasoning salt maybe, and some Old Bay or some seafood seasoning, and I just put it on a little tortilla wrap and called it a day. Oh, y'all, day 2 of the zombie of winter apocalypse, and we still have no power. I woke up, it was like 1 degrees. It was freezing. So I'm actually headed to what's called a warming station right now, where you can get warm. Hopefully I can get some hot water so I can make something warm to eat, and I can charge up all of my devices. I made it to my car with like 6%. But yeah, we're over 24 hours, no power. A hard wind chill. Snow is still everywhere covering the ground, but I made it to the morning. Hey guys, so I am in the warming center. It's really like a place where you can get warm, you can charge your devices. They have a lot of food and things here. It's not a lot of people, it's more so elderly people within my area. So it's actually nice and quiet and clean. It's actually at a local rec center, and I've been here just about all day. Haven't had any complaints. I'm going to actually sleep here tonight because I don't want to go back to my cold apartment, and it's dark too. And the roads are supposed to be getting worse even today, but so far so good. I'll probably do another update. Like, I've eaten so good today, guys. I've had chili, Chick-fil-A. Like, the locals have just been bringing things in. A lady bought quilts. It's really been just really nice. I mean, they got desserts, drinks. I'm like, I ain't going home tonight. I'm gonna just stay here. Still no power. As you can tell, I'm really sleepy. I didn't really get a lot of sleep last night, and I've been up all day. So I'm hoping to get some good rest tonight, and I'll check back in with you tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, so I am still at the warming center. It's still pretty cold. It was like a lot more sleet and rain last night, so the roads are still pretty covered, and there was like a lot more people, a lot more families who came in last night. Since we're now over 48 hours without power. I'm actually in like the little kitchenette that they have. I'm making this elderly guy who came in from the hospital a little mac and cheese cup. But so far so good. I still don't have an ETA on when my own power is going to be back on. So I'm just going to chill up here till then, and I'll check back in later. Hey guys, so it is day 3, and I actually spent the night again at the warming station, or basically it's like a shelter. And they brought cots, so I didn't have to sleep on the floor last night, so that was good because the first night I actually slept on the floor. I just bundled up in my comforter, but I slept on the cot last night, and that wasn't bad. I didn't get a lot of rest. I honestly haven't gotten a lot of rest since I've been here, and it's not because anything bad has happened. I just cannot sleep around people that I don't know. I'm on like high alert. But the volunteers have been like really, really nice. The locals have been bringing in food, blankets, heaters, anything that they can think of, which has been very, very helpful. There was like a point last night when I did get a little uncomfortable. The room that I was staying in previously kind of got a little overcrowded, and then somebody was just giving me a vibe, and I was like, no. So I moved to another room where there was no one in there. And then, but there was another open cot. And then this guy just walks on in, and I'm just thinking, you didn't see any other rooms? But he wasn't creepy or anything. But of course, you know, being a single woman, you always just want to be on high alert, and you want to be safe. So I'm hoping to go back to my apartment today and to wash up at least, and, you know, check on things, make sure everything's okay. But I know a lot of people still do not have power, and it's still very, very, very cold. But I'm going to go back to my apartment, and I'll update you in a few. I'll probably go around lunchtime. See ya. So this is where I actually got a little uncomfortable. You can see how close the cots are placed together. I was like, COVID much? My power is back on. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Spending the last 2 nights in basically a shelter. I'm just so thankful right now. Thank you, Jesus. I just want to take a shower. I want to get in my bed. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm just so thankful right now. Okay, so now that I'm back home, of course, the power has been out for like the past, it came on the 4th day earlier that morning around 9 or 10 a.m. But with my electricity being out, I'm having to get rid of a lot of the things that are in my fridge, because before I left, I could kind of smell things going bad, and I have just like a lot of dairy products in here, and I don't want to risk it. So I'm just throwing away a lot of those things. Some of these things haven't even been open. Like I got some yogurt at the bottom that hasn't been open. I had some lunch meat, sour cream that hadn't been open, but just because I could smell in there that things were going bad, I'm not going to risk it. It's not worth it. I'll just have to replace it. And actually, one of the organizations that I'm a part of sent me a few different donations so that I could replace some of the food in my fridge. So I am very, very thankful for that. Now on to the freezer. Oh, child, it looks like Miss Doogie needs to do an organizing your fridge video. But as you can see, I have a lot of seafood in here, and I am not going to risk it. I'm going to throw this seafood out. Some of my food, or most of the food in here, I could tell had not unfrozen or defrosted all of the way. But you just do not want to chance it with seafood because that stuff goes bad quickly. So I'm just going to get rid of that. It looks like it was a lot of freezer burn on that steak, so that may have defrosted. The other things look pretty fine, so I'm going to keep them. So I actually had to clean out the freezer because I had some strawberries in here, and I could tell they had defrosted because the strawberry juice or drippings from it was stuck to the bottom part of the freezer. So I just decided to clean it out with some spick and span. Over to the side, I actually have a bowl filled with soapy water and just a little bit of bleach because I wanted to make sure that I sanitized it really well in there. So I'm just basically wiping up everything and making sure that there are no more drippings or anything stuck to the bottom. Hey guys, so I am back home and I feel like I'm actually looking like somebody. I took my hair down, kind of put on something since for the last several days. I had been in like the same clothes basically. But the power came back on yesterday morning around like after about 9:30. I stayed at the warming shelter for a few hours after that just to make sure that it stayed on and to get something hot to eat before I left. Came back home and the power has been on all night. There is still no hot water, so I've been boiling water on the stove like to wash dishes and to put in the tub a bath. So that's still something that's being worked out, but I am okay with that. I'm just happy to be home and for the heat to be on, for the power to be on, and to kind of start back feeling like a normal person again. I feel like the last few days really took a lot out of me. I'll probably do a video next week once I head back to the office, just about recovering, after a natural disaster or a winter storm. I'll talk about some tips, on how you can get back to feeling normal. Overall, though, I would say my experience at the warming shelter was not bad. The people were just so wonderful and nice. I'm definitely gonna, send a thank you card to them. The local restaurant owners were coming in like up on the hour, just bringing in food. Locals were bringing in just anything that they thought would help. There were like a lot of elderly people or more elderly people who were at the warming shelter that I was at. And of course, during this time, people with disabilities and the elderly are the most disadvantaged populations when it comes to like a natural disaster or something like that. So I definitely saw, just a lot of elderly people who needed shelter. I know, like, I always grew up hearing, the old people have thin blood, so they get cold easily, and they can't be like in frigid temperature. So, it's very important that if you have an elderly neighbor or somebody with a disability, that you go and check on them to make sure that they're okay. Of course, the elderly and people with disabilities, they don't like to have their routines disrupted. There was one guy who was actually at the warming shelter, and he wanted to go home, and he was an elderly man. You can tell he probably had some dementia. And he was kind of fighting with his niece, kind of just like pulling away from her because he wanted to go outside in the snow and get in the car and go home, but the power was off and he just couldn't, understand that, we can't go home right now. So if you are, someone, like I said, who's near or close to somebody with a disability or who's elderly, please check on them in times like this and do whatever you have to do to get them to safety. I know the people in my area were calling 911 and the police came and then they brought them to the warming shelter. Typically that doesn't always happen, but as a last resort, if there's nobody else who can come, then of course you need to call the local authorities. So right now, I'm just happy to be home and just to chill out and kind of get myself together before I have to go back to work next week. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you're in the Texas area. What was your experience? How long was your power out? Have you ever been in a winter storm before? Any other Floridians out there who are just like, my bones can't take this, I need some power? Drop down in the comments and just let me know your experience overall, or if you have any tips. I'm also going to put in the description box below ways that you can help our fellow Texans during this very difficult time. Guys, there still are people who have an immense amount of damage to their home. I've seen a lot of videos where pipes just are going crazy. I dare say that some people are still without power. I would not be surprised. Definitely hot water and just boiling the water to drink anyway is an issue. The stores, there's not a lot of stuff there right now. So a lot of restaurants and things like that are still, stepping up. So I'm going to put a link down below where you can help fellow Texans or just find out more resources that are available in the Texas area. And please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you later next week. Bye.